everybody, and welcome back to T2T Wrestling. My name is Toye Nice, and I'm here with...
Tim is nice.
Sure, he is. And we're here because, Hell in the Cell results,
Yup.
and we're going to talk about that and our opinions, because apparently before we started, we had a lot to say. So,
We have opinions
we
on
had
this.
opinions, we had our thoughts, and, you know.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here for. But let's get into it.
We,
Go ahead.
yeah.
I did
Yeah,
not
I'm just saying.
watch the pre-show
No, I didn't either.
cuz
Uh,
go ahead.
Natalia apparently defeated Mandy Rose, and I don't give a crap.
Yeah,
I
I would.
was, I was streaming at the same time. That was right in the middle of my Sunday stream.
Yeah, and
So,
I
but,
was actually flying home, so at that time,
yeah. So,
so I did not
uh,
watch it. But
I am
apparently
sure
Natalia won, and it was probably a good match because they're probably
I'm
blah blah
sure
blah
it
blah blah.
was. Didn't care. Didn't watch it. Didn't care. Honestly, haven't even bothered looking it up later.
Now I must say, in the start of Hell in a Cell, we have the
Yeah.
Women's SmackDown Championship match between Bianca Belair and Bayley.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing start.
Great match.
Amazing. Great match.
Really great. Really great match.
Great
I
match.
have only one complaint about this match, and it is so small and petty that I don't even know what to do. And that is that they were using Bianca's hair too much.
I think
It
I think that's because they
it
use their
might.
hair all the time. And she was like, I don't know.
It's not that. I mean, I like the hair being used, but I just feel like it should be. It's one of those things I feel like should be rationed out a little bit. At the same time, and I felt like they spent too much time on it, including times where they could have been doing better things than trying to tie themselves to, to her hair. Anyway, a lot of that might have something to do with the fact that this wasn't one of those matches where one person is in control for 10 minutes, then the other person is in control for 10 minutes, and then the winner gets, a pinfall. This was like the wrestling like how I like it in a lot of ways. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't think anyone was ever in control for more than like a minute at a time, and the match was almost 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it was a nice, good long match.
Yeah, and they had a lot of time to develop, and they did. Again, Bianca. Anyone who can look at Bianca and Bailey after this and underestimate just how good they are, yeah, I can't have time for you guys. This was. They
Well,
had a really
I
good
feel like
match last month, but this one was better.
I feel like
Really, that's
matches
simple.
like Hell in the Cell kind of just elevates the person. You know what I'm saying? It was like, whoa. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
didn't, I didn't think they were capable of doing that until they actually went there, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep. But they definitely went there. They really went. That was a really
That
good
was a
match.
really good start,
Again,
and I really enjoyed it.
I'm just wondering if some of the focus on the hair was just because it was so much back and forth, rather than. I mean, there wasn't that many rest holds either. What was there even like a single? I mean, there might have been like a couple of submission holds, but I can't remember. It was basically, two women beating the snot out of each other. So some of those hair spots might have simply to get them to give a chance to, breathe, catch
Right.
their breath for a second. Also, I really like I actually really like the chair spot at the end just before the pinfall.
Oh yeah, that was
It,
good.
it, it that is rare to both. First of all, it's super rare to see in a women's match, so that was amazing. Two, it just worked really well. I don't know why it worked really well. We've seen plenty of chair spots before, but this one just, yeah, spot on.
Great job, ladies. Nice job.
Yeah, really great job. That was that. I don't know if that was so far the women's match of the year. I still think that's probably Sasha and Bianca at Mania.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a close second. That
Oh
was
yeah,
a
definitely.
really,
I mean,
really,
I
really
think
good match.
Bianca's doing well, and I think
Yeah,
I think she's doing well, and
yeah. Bianca
she,
is doing awesome as a
yeah,
champion,
champion
and
exactly.
I mean Bailey as the. I don't even know what she's supposed to be as a heel. Bullying, crazy. I don't even know.
A
But
laughing,
Bailey as a
a
heel.
laughing heel just laugh at everybody. I
Yeah, yeah.
have no idea.
Bailey as a heel right now is. I don't know if people might necessarily like her character, but she is definitely playing it up to the
Like
hilt,
she just like
and it
I feel like
worked.
it's just the best trolling ever.
Yeah, and it worked really well with Bianca, and the two of them are both. I mean, both beyond being really good workers, both of them. They just work. They seem to work super well together, like really, really well together. Um, but I mean, yeah, it's only their second match, but both their matches was well, they were good.
Yes, sir.
Again, this is where I feel like I could probably handle one more match between them.
I can see
But
one
that
more match. Yeah.
I could see one more match between them at Money in the Bank. That should be the end, though. After that, that has to. We've been talking about many times before not to draw out these things too long, but after these two matches, I could see one more. I don't think they should because I think Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell match should always end these things. But I could see another one between them without feeling bad about it, just because this one was so awesome.
Yep. And then obviously Bianca Belair won with a KOD on the ladder.
Yeah, it was a super cool spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we had predicted Bianca would retain and she did
She listened
obviously,
to
but
us. We know what we're talking
she
about.
listened to us. That was good. Of course, she is really just holding on to Toya's championship, but she's like the temporary holder of Toya's championship. But yeah, it's pretty good to have her there. No, this was a good match. This was a great start to the show.
Yes. Yes, it was. So let's move on to the next match we have, which we didn't talk about because we didn't know it was thrown in. We have
Yep.
Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, which makes sense because they do have their beef going on right now. So
We have mentioned before that I would probably rather have seen Cesaro against um maybe another Cesaro match, I guess, against Roman rather than Ray, which then ended up not being on the pay per view anyway. But I cannot be angry at Seth and Cesaro having another match because again they just keep putting on super good. I mean, this was to me match of the evening, and again considering what came just before it, that was a pretty stiff competition. But I
yeah,
think Seth and Cesaro did better. I just think Seth and Cesaro did a little bit better. I think they are just the best pure wrestlers in the company right now.
yeah, they really are. And they really did do a hell of a job and put on a hell of a show. And I
Yeah.
understand why, because they still got this beef going on and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah, no.
and stuff like
Absolutely.
that.
I understand exactly why they had the match, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. But I mean, I kind of agree with you with that Cesaro should have had Roman, and it's like
Yeah, yeah,
why Ray? And I don't
yeah. It
that
doesn't
as
make
I
any
don't
sense.
make any sense to me because it's like okay, this
Um,
they are doing the
I,
tag team.
again, if they are serious, as some rumors would have it, to have Roman versus Cena at SummerSlam, I guess I could see like a triple threat at Money in the Bank with Seth and Cesaro and Roman. I guess I could see that working.
Kind of like having like
Um,
so it's gonna be like when like the WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton
yeah, and
and
Edge.
Batista kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Um, I,
I mean,
I,
I guess I could see them trying to. Well, I don't know. The
I
Universal
don't know.
Championship for Cena. I don't know.
I don't think Cena is going to win. I'm absolutely certain Cena is not going to win. But you know that if he comes back, they are going to have to give him like a big match. and that is Roman right now. Cena versus Lashley would not draw the same viewers as Cena versus Roman.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so. Is my point. He might.
He might. I might. I don't know. Like, it's questionable.
Seth won, which I'm actually really happy about, because that means that I like the feud to continue better. They have both won now, and again, this wasn't like a dominant victory for Seth. It was a backslide.
Kind of like a sneaky win or some shit.
Yeah, so this is, again, we have talked a lot about feuds continuing too long because they are, not because they are continuing too long, but because they are too one-sided. One person just keeps winning and winning and winning and winning, and in the end it doesn't make sense why the other person keeps getting more matches.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're constantly getting beat up by somebody, and you're just like, okay, the bully's like, okay, I don't want to beat you up no more, I'm done. He's like, no, go, I want some more, I'm good. It's like, no, I keep beating you every time, stop it. Like,
yeah, we have other people, and again, that's also where, I know, it's wrestling, it doesn't have to make sports sense, but it's like, okay, Roman, let's take a theoretical example. Roman, you have now beaten Cesaro 5 times in a row. We have other people coming up, like, for instance, Big E, who used to be, or Apollo, who is Intercontinental title. One of those should probably have a go at him. That's one of the things where I actually really like what AEW is doing, that they kind of have a... The guy who won the most matches is the next challenger to the championship.
Which makes sense.
Which would make sense to me. It doesn't always have to work like that. Again, sometimes a feud might just be because the feud will work, but I do feel there should be like a little bit of... I know, it's sports entertainment, it's not a sport, but I feel like there should be a little bit of competitive reasoning to it. But anyway, I'm glad Seth won. We can continue the feud. Both of them have had a match. We can go on with that, and they can have and they can go on do something else. And I would love to see another match with those two, because this one was
really good. It was really good. It was like good. It was just as good as the one they had at WrestleMania. So yeah, it was real good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go to the next match. We have Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler.
With Nia Jax and Reginald. There was surprisingly little outside interference, by the way.
Well, I mean...
I mean, I know why. I'm just saying, I would have expected a little bit more. Okay, the ending was basically, outside interference due to magic, I guess? The dark arts.
Voodoo
Alexa
magic?
Is a wizard now.
I don't know if she's a wizard or a voodooist or what the heck she is. But apparently...
I don't know either, but she can use magic, like real magic, obviously. Which is a bit weird, to be honest, but I'm not sure about this match. I liked the match as a match. When they were actually wrestling, I think it was a good match. Again, they are doing a really good job at humanizing Shayna. She is showing now that she can sell.
Yeah.
Once she has shown she can sell, I am perfectly fine with Shayna getting up and having like a possible title run.
Yeah,
Shayna has always been that she has been way too dominant with no personality, which is something I complain about a lot of people.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing, right? In the WWE, when they bring on the MMA fighters, they always put them out with no personality, which is untrue. Because if you go and like watch her like videos, so she got a lot of personality. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I watch some of her videos. I'm like, okay, this girl's funny. This girl's hilarious. But they want to make this, oh, I'm an MMA, I have to be tough. Same thing they did with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, same thing to a certain degree they were doing with... There was another one coming up at about the same time that they used exactly that thing for. It's a very strange one. It's a very strange one.
Yeah, and then I don't understand it. I'm like, it's like, okay, they're MMA. I get that you're trying to make them seem tough, but it's like, okay, you can give them like a little bit of personality and still make them tough. If I don't think it's gonna hurt the image.
No, I don't think
I
so
mean,
either.
I'm not saying that everyone has to have a personality. There's gonna be some people that just be like, okay, I'm just here to fight. Got it. You know, like
Yeah,
fight
I mean,
Owens, fight. Got it.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, or Finley.
Yeah.
My name is Finley, and I love to fight.
And that's cool and everything like that. But if you're trying to sell us a person, it's kind of like, okay, we already have too many people are just here, just like, okay, I'm a big woman. I have
Yeah,
muscles and I can fight. It's like, oh, I got a little bit of personality. It's like, okay,
yeah, exactly. Again, I like what they're doing with Shayna. At this point, I feel like
yeah,
I am okay. She has been humanized enough that she's no longer completely unstoppable. She is still good in the ring. She's getting better in the ring, in my opinion, than she used to be when she was totally dominant. And now again, give her a personality. I would like to see Shayna have a good title run, honestly, or
I
at
think
least
she would.
a good main event run, so to speak.
I think she would. I think she'd be amazing.
Yeah. Alexa wins by magic, I guess. A sort of weird semi-outside interference.
Basically, she had like
Hypnotizes
tied
Nia.
Naya
I don't
into
know.
slapping,
Yeah.
slapping Reginald, and then and I don't know this.
Again, it was a fairly short match. But what, it was an actual wrestling match, which I like because I mean.
I mean,
Yes,
of course, it'd be a
Alexa.
wrestling match. She's wrestling another woman, so that would make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. I didn't expect another Orton situation here. I'm just that would have been, oh man, that would have been something. I'm just saying that you could have expected this to be like another fairly short thing where Shayna went after her and magic powers, and Shayna backs off and more magic, blah blah blah. Blah. This was an actual wrestling match, and again, as we have said before, it also goes to show that I think people might forget just how good a wrestler Alexa Bliss actually is.
She really is a
She's,
great wrestler.
I mean, she's always gotten along with her, gotten on by having this awesome heel personality. Is she even a heel right now? I don't even know. It also doesn't particularly matter with the character she's playing, but she's also actually always been a really, really good wrestler, even if she is, teeny tiny.
True. And I'm
Um,
just assuming she's like on the edge of being
yeah,
a
I
heel.
guess.
I guess.
Like I said,
I mean,
I guess it also depends on who she comes up against.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
Nia
the
and
thing. It's like when people say, "Oh, that's a person's heel." So if there's a heel, they don't fight other heels. I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah,
If they want
I
to
mean,
be top, and if I'm a heel and I want to be top, I'm not gonna just take out all the faces.
nope.
I'm gonna take out the heels too.
I mean, Shayna and Nia, I guess, is still a heel team, mostly at least. Again, I don't mind tweeners, by the way. I don't have a single problem with someone being heel or faces, match dependent. But I don't think you can put Alexa Bliss in that particular
Yeah,
box
I
right now
honestly
based
think
on
she's probably.
how they're
I think
how they're
she's more.
building the character.
I think she's
Yeah.
more healed than she is like a tweener or even a face. Cause that's just like.
I think this was a fairly good match while they were actually fighting. It was the right result, but I do worry what they are going to do with the Alexa character.
Yeah, especially with the whole magic thing.
Yeah, again, having abilities like Kane to have fire shoot out of the ring post, or the Undertaker to have the arena go silent. So this is fine, and I wouldn't mind Alexa having something like that. But actually being able to win the matches with magic, that can get old really quickly,
Yeah.
I feel. But
And then it's like,
was
okay, where is this power coming from? Is it coming
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
doll or what? It's like,
Yeah. Is it coming still from the feet? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Again, it was the right result, but they need to I think they need to figure out what they want to do with Alexa. One, like right now.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it was really cool to see her back with Nikki
Oh,
at Raw.
yeah, that was good. I like that. Yeah, if you haven't seen Raw, or if you can watch the little clip they have on YouTube, you should
Yep.
go check it out. Her Nikki's new character, I guess she has.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll move on.
Yep.
So we have another match thrown in.
Yep.
Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Another kind of, WrestleMania rematch 2 months and a pay-per-view later. It's a very weird situation there.
Because I don't even know
Um,
what the heck this was about.
I don't know either. I just think this is like these two hate each other. They always hate each other. If one is heel, then the other is usually face, and the other way around. And they hate each other, and they have to fight. And so they did. I mean, apart from Orton and Cena, do you think there's any two people in the company right now who has had as many matches with each other
No.
in WWE as Sami and Owens?
I don't know. I think no.
I mean, I don't think there's any person.
I don't think there is, and this is the only ones like we know televised. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, how when they had the house shows and stuff like that. I'm like, cause I was
Honestly,
just like, this came out of nowhere. I'm like, Cesaro and Seth Rollins made sense. Fine.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't paid like close attention to what's going on in SmackDown and stuff like that because last time I know Kevin Owens was trying to get the belt or Intercontinental belt. So
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, this one is one of those like, okay, I know Sami Zayn had interrupted a match and the other guy won, and maybe that was it. So maybe this is it for them for a little while.
I think Sammy cost Owens and Big E a match against Apollo and what's his bodyguard's
I don't
name?
know.
Commander whatever.
Big black guy.
Big Nigerian Commander, big Nigerian dude.
Yeah.
So I guess that was it. But again, this is like not every match on a pay-per-view. I like feuds, but not every match on a pay-per-view necessarily has to be about a long-term feud.
True.
I wish it was, but it doesn't have to be. And if it has to be two people just fighting, Sami and Owens are good at that because, like I say, I don't think I can come up with anyone who has had as many televised matches in WWE as those two, with the possible exception of Natalia and what's her face, Charlotte. But I mean, Sami and Owens have probably had more wrestling matches with each other than anyone else in the world right now, with the possible exception of the Hardy Boys.
Yes.
I mean, they've been fighting
Forever.
20 years, basically, on and off. But again, it wasn't a bad match. It was a really.
I mean,
really fun
they
match.
always put on a great match. It's
Yeah.
just one of those. Why are we here?
Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Also, this was a match that could really have used a live audience.
Yeah.
I feel like
Definitely.
this was a match that was set up to feed on the crowd that wasn't there.
Right.
There was some times where it was like the Thunderdome came through with something, and I'm like, oh man, if that had been a real audience, that could actually have been really cool.
Like a really
This
good
was a
pop.
match- yeah. This was a match that was very strange. Like you said, this was a match that was very strange to me. Why was it there? And I think the match could have been, again, with an audience, I think the match could have been better. But I mean, a good match. Sami and Owens always have good matches. The only thing I can say is if they want to do something with this at either Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, it was the right result.
Yes. I mean, if that's where they're going with, then yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're not going with anything, then it was just, okay, they had a match, I guess.
They
If
had a match.
want
We had to fill in a spot. We put them
Yeah.
in there. Like, oh, okay. I
If
don't
they
know.
if they want to do something more with it, then Sammy won, by the way, which is a while since I think we've seen Sammy beat Kevin cleanly on television.
Or win.
But Sammy won, and I think it was the right decision, one way or the other. I mean, it was great match storytelling. Again, I keep saying I don't think these two can have a really bad match. They know each other too well, and they're really good at what they do. But it was, yeah, I sat with the feeling all the way through. Why am I watching this?
Yeah, it's kind of it's questionable. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It felt like in the old days. Some of you might be too young to remember this, but it felt like some of those matches that used to be in the late WCW days, where a pay-per-view had like 10 matches and the middle 3 was some NWO guy against someone else, and usually they didn't really have any build-up. It was just, hi, I'm Jerry Lynn, I want to fight. Hi, I'm Scott Norton from NWO. Let's have a match on the pay-per-view. And then NWO would win, and that'll be it. It kind of felt like that one, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. It did.
So, yeah, let's move on from...
Let's move on. We got the Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
Yep. That one, of all the matches on the card, that one went beat for beat, almost move for move, exactly as we predicted it last week.
Right.
Not just the result, but how they were going to
how they were going to fight and everything else.
Yeah, it wasn't a bullying match, which is good for Rhea, by the way, because selling is important. So it was nice to see her not being, always the big bully. And they fought equally. And they there was, again, it was really a good match. But again, that was also one where I felt like, I mean, why are we even watching this match? I told you exactly, or me and Toya told you exactly how it was going to go last week. Like, basically move for move, almost, or at least close to it. But, I mean, it was a really good big woman power match. They
went at it with each other.
Yeah, they went at it. They're both really good at being big and strong, and they're also really athletic. So it was a really great match. I'm probably doing it. I'm probably not being fair to it because it was probably a better match than I'm letting on. It's just because I was that was basically exactly what I said was going to happen.
I mean, if you basically look at Charlotte Flair and you look at Rhea Ripley and you say, okay, those two can go at it.
Yeah.
Then it's like that. It's just that simple, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They just went at it for pound, back and forth.
And it was a really good match about it. The only thing I hadn't expected was the ending.
Yes, that was...
I hadn't expected the ending. Charlotte wins by DQ.
But,
Rhea gets herself purposely, it seems...
Yeah.
DQ'd out to keep the belt by champion's advantage.
Well, she obviously did it on purpose because she was like, I just did the same thing that what you would do, which Charlotte would do. Charlotte would purposely DQ herself as well. So I'm just like, okay.
Again, I don't even have a problem with it. I mean, Charlotte even on Raw again, they had another they had another like face to face, and Charlotte was like, I applaud you. This was awesomely done.
Yeah. My hat's off to you.
Hadn't expected you would use those tactics, but brilliant work. Let's have another one, and they're going to have another one at Money in the Bank, which is a right decision. Because it was a really good match. I want to see another one. Especially.
I think it's a really good feud.
It's really. I mean, we talked about that. It's an amazing feud compared to. Again, like we said last week, I would have wanted to see Charlotte versus Lacey, but unlike Charlotte versus Lacey, this is actually a good feud as well as a good match. So perfect. Yeah, the only thing that I hadn't expected was that it was Rhea deliberately getting kicked out, because that kind of puts her in the heel position, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, kinda. Maybe I don't know. Maybe she's one of those tweeners.
Yeah, and again, it can also be played. You can also play it like, she's a face, but she's using Charlotte's own tactics against her.
'Cause
I can see how they can play that
that's
off.
because they're like a face doesn't mean they don't have like sneaky
I
tactics.
know.
You
Again,
know,
and like I said, I can see how they can play it off with Rhea basically constantly using Charlotte's own
own tactics against her. I
yeah,
can see that as being a thing.
reapproving herself to Charlotte by by basically being Charlotte Flair in a lot of ways. Um, and I mean, I'm probably being unfair to the match because it was really good. The feud is amazing. I'm looking forward to the next one. I just kept sitting there thinking to myself, "Yep, that's the move they're going to make now. Now Charlotte is going to be in charge. Now Rhea is going to make a comeback. Blah 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 blah." Beat for beat for beat, we literally predicted this match last week.
We did. I'm telling you guys, should listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
Yep.
But yeah.
But good match, excellent match.
Yeah,
really
very good
excellent
match.
The third of the there were 3 really good matches on the card tonight: Bailey, Bianca, Seth, Cesaro, and this one. That would have been worth the money by themselves.
Exactly. But let's go on to the last match
Yeah.
of the night.
The Universal? No, it's
the WWE
no, it's
Championship.
The WWE Championship. Yes.
Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. And if Drew McIntyre didn't win, he could not challenge for the belt no more as long as Bobby Lashley has it.
Yes. Or holds it at the very
And
least.
once again, another match was just pound for pound.
Yep. Again, one of my comments about this match is that I've written down about this match is that I have very few comments about this match. It was another Drew versus Bobby match.
They've done this
smashed each
before. We've been here
for a
before a
while.
couple of times.
Yeah.
We know how this goes.
It was honestly, I've written down, I was a bit disappointed. Just because there was absolutely nothing in this we haven't seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen these two have this match before. Now they just put it inside a Hell in a Cell match. A Hell in a Cell match. But we have seen this exact Hell in a Cell match also before, just with other people.
True.
There was no big spot. There was no like amazing big spots that could have taken it away. There was neither of them like dug deep or tried something new. This was basically just Drew and Bobby having their third, or is it second or third, like really big match of the year, and it was like, okay, we've seen it.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't a bad match in any way. But I thought this was actually the worst match of the evening.
Yeah, I can see that being the worst. Yeah.
Again, not because it was bad, just because it felt.
It felt.
Why are we watching this again?
Yeah, it's like we said before. It's like, okay, this has been done. It's been done a few times, a few pay-per-view times. It's like, okay, like the only thing is that, like you said, put a sale on there. Okay, he got distracted. Oh dear, like last time. I'm like, okay, this
MVP involves himself in the match. There was nothing there. This was a rerun. That's what it was. You're sitting there watching television, and suddenly there is a rerun of exactly the same program you watched last week.
Yeah, I feel like the two main events, especially the ones they took out because they put it on SmackDown, was kind of like didn't make any sense. I mean, you could.
I have seen the Roman versus Ray match. That was a better Hell in a Cell match than this one was.
Well, yeah, definitely. But yeah. And I'm not saying that this match wasn't good. It was just like a regular match. It's kind of like one of those matches you'd be like, okay. It was fine. Yeah. It was like, okay.
Again, it was just like we've seen this.
We've seen this like 100 times before. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, time to move on. So, Bobby Lashley wins, so that's fine. Great. Now we can move on.
Again, we predicted that, and it was the right decision.
Yeah. So now we can move on and have Bobby Lashley challenge, apparently, be Kofi. So
in the first run. Again, as we talked about on the pre-show, you weren't there for the pre-show this time, but when we talked about before we went live, I think Kofi is the sacrificial lamb to keep Bobby with a champion until he can get someone at SummerSlam. Like, someone else at SummerSlam. Don't know who. Maybe AJ, if they are on the same brand. I don't even know.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not sure how that's going to do it. Maybe maybe they can do a one thing I think could be fun is to have them do maybe another cage match or something, but have them do a handicap match with the New Day. Say if any of the New Day, wins, then they get the title. Then
get a title shot.
New Day. I mean, no. I'm just saying, have them do like a title. Have them do like a title. What's it called? Title handicap match. When it's like, it doesn't matter if Kofi or whoever pins them. Then the New Day becomes WWE champion. I could theoretically see that working. Again, I don't think they would win, but I could see that working. But
I mean, it's an idea.
Again, it was loose thinking. The point is, I don't think Kofi is going to be anything but a speed bump on Lashley's way to SummerSlam. But we shall see. We shall see how it happens. Again, I don't want to talk this match down too much because it wasn't a bad match. It was just a
repeat.
Yeah, repeat of what we were already seeing, and so that was what that was.
Yes,
basically.
but yeah, let's gonna end it here, guys.
Overall,
what do you rate this out of 1 out of 10?
6, maybe even 5.5.
I say 5.5.
Again, we had a couple of really great matches, but at the same time, as we also talked about last week, all of the championship matches were so predictable. You knew exactly who was going to win, almost how they were going to win.
Yeah. It was too precise.
Yeah, it was too... Yeah, exactly. It was too, robotically predicted, so to speak. This was an event that could have used a shocking swerve. Like, Edge running
that would have been great.
Even
when they had the matches that we didn't know about, it was like, well, that's not really much of a shock. I'm like, okay, that would make sense because they already have this feud going on. But kind of like this, someone else comes in or something else. I'm like, or they change belt somewhere. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. That would have been great, but I don't know.
Again, like I said, there was 3 super great matches, and I don't want to make it sound like this was a bad pay-per-view.
No, it was a good pay-per-view.
Those 3 matches pulled it up significantly. It was just that, without any title changes, and everyone knew there wasn't going to be a title change, this is another one that felt a bit... Well, we have to have a pay-per-view, so we're going to put on a pay-per-view, and then we can all forget about it again tomorrow and move on to something else.
Exactly.
Basically.
It's kind of like, I have to feed these people, and I promised them steak, but I don't feel like cooking. Let's just go to McDonald's.
Basically. Yeah, basically. This is not raw. It's not raw. The Charlotte and Rhea Ripley storyline and the Seth and Cesaro storyline developed okay, but I feel like they wouldn't have necessarily... They could have done that without Hell in a Cell. That's what I mean, and I feel like pay-per-view should be something more than just stuff you could also have done on Raw.
True.
Or SmackDown, or wherever they are.
True. But thanks so much, guys, for watching, and hopefully you have your own opinions about this, and hopefully you watched it. Maybe you think of it differently than we do. You'd be wrong, but you have a title to be wrong. But also, don't forget to watch our videos that are out.
Yeah. We are starting
Friendly Fire, and I have my Toy-versary. So you got 3 videos coming out today, so you have no excuses saying that I didn't put out nothing, we didn't put out anything. We put out a lot today.
We are spoiling you, is what we are doing.
Exactly.
Spoiling.
So make sure, and then also Sunday, Tim streams.
Yeah, Sunday. Actually, again
And
today.
today he'll stream.
Probably I will. I will do a
Maybe.
stream. Yes. No, I will do a stream. It's just depending on when this comes out compared to the other videos. The stream might have already been.
It will
done.
be out before you stream. So.
Okay, then after this, you can go straight over and watch me stream. Then come back and watch Toyversary, for instance.
Yep.
And then I will do the big stream on Sunday. I'll actually maybe do it a bit longer than usual because we are at an interesting place in the game. I want to get some stuff done.
Yep.
But
nice.
yeah.
So, thanks so much, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.